Welcome Lasell students to a quick tutorial on how to use Moodle. The best recommendation for using Moodle is Firefox, but most of the computers here at Lasell use Internet Explorer as the default browser, but you can easily change that. So, first thing you want to do is choose whatever web browser that you're comfortable with, either Firefox or Internet Explorer, and when you click on either of them, for Internet Explorer, it automatically brings you to mylasell.edu, and you'll see a window here that's opened up. All you have to do is just type in your username and your password. Once you have done that, just click OK. If you get any messages or any security warnings, you can either click yes, no, or you can just click the X that says close, and it won't affect anything. So this is my Lasell homepage, and over here on the right hand side is your student email, Moodle, library, employment and internships, and all these other tabs. The one that we're going to do today is Moodle, so just go to Moodle. Alright, and now this is what the Lasell Moodle page looks like, and you're automatically logged in, but I'm going to go ahead and show you when you log out. Let me log out of here and we'll log right in. So if you go and do a web search for Lasell College Moodle, you'll most likely be brought to this page. All you have to do is just click the top white box, which is for your username, and then the bottom one is obviously going to be for your password. And then you just click the enter key, and if you want Internet Explorer to remember this, you can either say yes or no. I typically say no. Alright, so now what you want to do is look for your courses that you have registered for. So what you're going to do is you have different tabs up here. You have Lasell College, My Lasell, Library, Online Tutoring, and then you have a section called My Courses. If you log in and you have all courses, that means your courses aren't live yet, and you want to contact either student accounts or your professor to make sure that they are up and running. So when you go down to My Courses, all your courses for the fall will be there, and if you're doing any summer classes, those will also show up. And you also have your summer reading course up here as well. So let's go ahead and learn a little bit further about how to actually use Moodle. So I have a course I'm doing this summer, so we'll go into that and we'll use this as an example. So once you're here, this is the page that your professor will have set up. They'll either have their name and their contact information. They'll have the course resources that you can refer to when you're taking a particular class. They'll have the syllabus up, the assignments, and then some professors will even have a place where you can actually talk between students within your class without actually having to email them. And if you go over to the left hand side, you have the home. You have My Home, which is going back to your beginning page where we logged in from. You have Site Pages, My Profile, My Courses, and then under here are all the different sections. So you have your class name and participants. You can find out who's actually in your class if you click on participants. And then you have general, and then you have your weekly assignments. Best recommendation is try to look a couple of weeks ahead just to see what's happening and try not fall behind. The other important section that you want to look at is course administration, and underneath that, grades. When you click on that, you can see your grades for each of your classes that you're doing. So if you click on grades, this window will open up, and this shows you the assignments. This shows you number of points, or if your professor doesn't do points, it shows you what the actual grades are. So you have user report settings on the top left hand side. If you go down, you also have overview report. And overview report will show you all of your fall classes that you'll have, as well as the overall grade for all the classes, so you have a quick glance. But if you have a question on a particular assignment why you got a certain grade, you can certainly go back and forth between these two. So to get out of this page and to get back to your regular class, you can either use the tab up here. In this case, we'll use my courses up here, and you want to use this third tab here, which is one of the courses I'm taking. Just go over there, and it brings you right back to where we started. On the right hand side, you have course section links. You have your calendar, which can tell you if there's anything due for that day, or if there's anything that you need to be aware of in terms of assignments or group projects. This calendar here can be helpful. Below that is upcoming events, and this will tell you what is due ahead of time, so that you can keep yourself organized, and using your planner you can find out, okay, this assignment is upcoming and it's due on this date at this time, I better get to it. And once every assignment has a particular time limit on it, and I'll explain a little bit further on that. Below that, upcoming assignments box is quick mail, so you can actually send an email through Moodle to either your professor or to another student in your class. So going back to the main middle page here, so we looked at the course resources. This will be your syllabus. Probably in the fall, most of the syllabi will be up here on Moodle. I advise taking a look at those ahead of time before your professor passes them out, so that you can just have an idea of ahead of time what that class is going to be about, and that you can just pay attention to what the professor is going to be explaining about in the syllabus without being distracted in reading it. So I recommend reading that ahead of time. Below that, you'll have your assignments, and most professors, when you go to your assignments folder, you'll have in PDF files different assignments, or even anything that could be helpful for that class. For this particular class I'm taking, my professor has an APA style hints, and it gives you hints about how to use the APA formatting when citing sources. Below that is our final project for the course that I'm taking, and this is explaining about how to do the portfolio assignment. And then below that is writing tips on how to become a better writer, especially if you're a comm major. You do a lot of writing and a lot of communicating, so these sheets are definitely helpful. And the Academic Achievement Center actually has the APA style hints and writing tips also available as a hard copy, if you wish to have one on your possession at all times. It's not required, but it is recommended. So again, to get out of this, you can either click the back arrow up here on the very top left, or you can just click right back by using the actual assignment tab. And in this particular class, we also have a virtual cafe where we can actually have conversations between our classmates, or in this case our professor calls us teammates. So that's also something that some professors might have, others might not. It's up there. You don't have to use it. But if you do have any questions and you think another student in the class is willing to be helpful in answering any of your questions, you can do that. Alright, scrolling down. So week 1, the way this is set up is by weeks. So this particular class is 7 weeks long, and it covers from the beginning of the week all the way to the end of the week. And under each week, you can see that there's assignments. So we have, in this particular summer course, we have student introductions. Our professor had us introduce ourselves a little so that we get to know the students a little bit better. And then underneath that, our first homework assignment, which was to read a case study in our book that we were reading, and then to respond to it. So your professors will be doing a lot of responding to your postings, as well as you posting as well. So let's go ahead and learn how to do that. So I'm going to click on case study 1. And then as you can see up here on your navigation bar, you have home, my courses, COM 105, which is the course I'm taking. And then you have week 1, May 20th through the 26th. And then you have W1 case, which stands for week 1 case. So this was the case study for week 1. This is the assignment for it. This is what we had to do. And then we were supposed to debate with other students, seeing if we agree or disagree with their postings. So the next thing on our agenda is to learn about how to post on a discussion board. So after you read the assignment that your professor gives you, there's a section here called Add a New Discussion Topic. When you click on that, once the page loads, it's going to keep the assignment up here so you can refer back to it when you're making your response. And then down here you have to type in what your subject is. So you can either type in case 1 or you can type in philosophers or anything that is assignment related, so that your professor has an easier time looking it up. And the other thing is, make sure you respond to other classmates' original posts. Be respectful when you're debating with other students, when you're agreeing or disagreeing. And also make sure that you do respond to 2 other people, because that is all included in your grade, depending on how your professor is going to grade you on this. So what you basically do is, for the subject, you can type anything. And then below that, this is where you would type your actual responses. And if there's more than one question, I recommend putting a number 1 with the parentheses. And then try and restate the question. It'll get your thoughts flowing a little bit easier. And then leave maybe 2 or 3 spaces in between. And put question 2 with the parentheses to your response to the second question. And always try and refer back to certain pages in your textbook if you're asked to do so. And then when you scroll down further, it gives you subscription. This means that if any other student posts on your forum or you post on theirs, you'll get a notification through your student email. So there's 2 options. There's send me an email copies of posts to this forum, or if you don't want an email copy of this forum, you can just select that. I typically check here most every day, so I recommend so basically it's whatever you prefer. If you think you'll be able to remember more to check back on Moodle, I recommend checking this one. But depending how many students are in the class, do you really want 20 something emails from all of the students in the class? So it's really your preferred choice on how to use the subscription. Now if you're asked to attach an assignment, either for grading or that goes along with the discussion, there is a section at the very bottom called attachment. So what you do is you just go to the click Add button, and then a file picker window opens up. And then what you do is you go to Attachment, and you click Browse. And then a separate window will open, and then you choose whatever assignment that you're asked to post. And once you select it, for example, if I go into my folder here, and I go to Desktop, if I had any files or something, or documents, what I would do is I would click on it, put it there, and then I would click Open. Now, if you, let's say, thought you put an assignment in but you didn't, and you click Open, nothing's going to happen because it's telling you you need to have some file name in there. Alright. Below that is Save As, so if your professor wants you to save it in a particular name or file, make sure that you check with them ahead of time. So just check with them on how they want it saved. Most of them like to have it saved with your either with your full first name or last name, or with just your last name. So just again check with them. And then the author is automatically set to default of whoever student browser this is. This is actually mine, so my name is up there. And then you can choose your license. Just keep it at other. You don't need any of these other ones, so just leave other. And then once your assignment is attached, you saved it, and you made sure it's all set, you then go ahead and click this tab here that says Upload to this file. And when you click on that, your assignment will actually show up right down here with a loading bar, just letting you know that's being loaded. And then once you think everything is all set and you're satisfied with it, you then go down to the very last bottom section, and you will click Post to Form. And when you do that, it'll actually tell you that you have about 30 minutes to edit your form before it's up there permanently. So try taking advantage to take a look at everything ahead of time. And when you're typing in your messages, try and use some of these tabs up here that can be helpful. So this tab right here with the ABC check mark, that means check spelling, and English should be set to default. If it isn't, make sure it is. And it'll just go through and it'll actually tell you if a particular word is spelled correctly or not. So I'm actually going to give you an example on how this would work. So if I type in that word, let's say, and I click on the spell check, the screen went blank for a little while, and then it made this a little loading circle, and now the word's underlined red. So you click, and it will tell you to please wait, and then underneath it'll give you the suggestion for the word. And if none of the suggestions are there, you can just click Ignore Word, or if all the words that are in there you think are spelled correctly, but spell check doesn't recognize it, you can just click Ignore All, and the little red line underneath is gone. So that's how you make that's how you post a discussion. Now let's say we go back to the case. You'll get this message here if you didn't post anything and you're navigating away from your tab. If you're okay with that, you just click OK. And then you just let the page load. And then these are all the students in the particular class that I'm in, and all of them that have posted. Now when responding to a student post, what you do is you click on the student name. Okay, sorry, that's something else. So just click back if you clicked the wrong one. You actually want to click underneath discussion, and then you just click, and the page should load. So this is the response that I gave for the first case study that we did. And then underneath that is reply. When you click reply, you're actually replying to this student. And then if you want to reply to this student, you click on the reply button down there. And you can just keep replying as much as you want, but not too much to actually get the students annoyed. Now, you do have an option here on how you want to display this window. So right underneath the navigation bar, there's something called Display Replies in nested form. And then you have oldest, newest, threaded. So you have all these different options. Nested form, I think, is a little bit easier to look at. So right here, the RE means Respond Case Study Chapter 1. And it tells you which student responded and what day, time, month, and year that they responded. And this is their response. And then you basically just click reply, and then I replied to this student here saying if I agreed or disagreed with her case. And she responded to mine either saying she agreed or disagreed. Alright, so let's go back. So if you want to just go right back to the case study or to a particular assignment for that week, you can just click on week 1 or week 2 or whatever week you're on, and it will just bring you right back to this similar page. But if you really want to go all the way back to the actual course itself, you just have to go over to the name of the course, which in this case is Comp 205, and it will bring you directly to the actual page itself. So these are all the different students that have that did the assignment, and underneath replies tells you how many students replied to them. So if you look under my name, I had 2 students reply, but it really counts the student that replied in me. So now some of these students had 5 responses. So let's check this one. So here you can see that 5 students have actually responded, and this student actually put a actual website in her actual response. What you basically do is you just copy paste from a website and you put it right into the message discussion when you are posting. Alright, let's go back to the actual course window. So most professors will have some kind of welcome or the name of the course, just so you can refer to that. And then as you go underneath, this tells you how many unread posts. That means those are the number of posts you haven't read yet. That's a good reminder if you haven't responded to any students yet, how many you need to respond to. Depending on what the assignment is and what your professor recommends or is asking you to do. So this is week 2, and then we have week 3, and then week 4. Our professor had us draft a portfolio. So basically what you do here is you click portfolio draft or whatever the name of the draft of the assignment is, and it tells you here to upload a Microsoft Word document that includes your introduction and then whatever else they're asking for. And then for the submission status, it tells you if it was submitted for grading, and then it tells you if it was graded yet or not, and then it tells you the due date. So the rough draft was due on Monday, June 10th. And then time remaining, this tells you how much time you have left until this assignment is overdue. And then last modified is when the last time your professor looked at it. And then below that is your file submission, so whatever file you submitted. And make sure it's a doc. If you have a Mac Pro or a MacBook Pro laptop, and you have applications on there called Pages, what you'll have to do is you go to Share, and then you have to convert it to a Microsoft Word document from there. And then submission comments. If there's any comments that you want to make when you're submitting this, you can post that there. And below that is edit my submission. So that's when you would click and you can actually edit what assignment you have submitted. And then underneath that, this is feedback, so it tells you what grade you got. This tells you when your professor graded your assignment, and then this tells you who your professor was that graded it. So scrolling all the way down, so we have our final portfolio due, which is coming up. So what you do is you click on whatever your final assignment is, and again it tells you to upload Microsoft Word document of whatever your assignment is. Right here it tells you submission status. Currently there's nothing submitted yet, and it hasn't been graded yet. And the due date is on Saturday, July 6th by 11:55 p.m. And time remaining, I have about 9 days and 14 hours until it's due. And then you just click Add Submission. And when you click Add Submission, once the page loads, this is what it'll look like when you add a submission. You just click, you can either create a folder or you can just add it directly. And this window will once again open up, which looks familiar from the discussion board postings. So this is something you really want to get familiar with. You see it a lot on Moodle. Most assignments are actually due on Moodle now, just to be a little more environmentally friendly. So since I have nothing to submit, I'm just going to close out. If you want to close out this page, just click on the X at the top right hand, and then you'll just be brought right here. And then you can either click Save Changes once you've submitted an assignment, or you can click Cancel altogether. And then you'll just be brought right back to this page. So that's pretty much it about Moodle. Now comes the fun part. If you want to change your personal portfolio or your About Me section, you can click My Home. And actually, My Home actually brings you right to your various assignments and stuff. But if you want to go to your own profile and change that, you click on underneath navigation, you go to settings, and right underneath that it says My Profile Settings. Go ahead and click on Edit Profile. And if any security message or anything like that pops up, you can either say yes or you can close it. So this is where you go and you can edit your profile. So you have your first name, your last name, your email address, which is should be your full Lasell email address. You can set to how you want your email displayed. Allow only other course members to see my email. You can hide your email, or you can allow everyone to see it. I typically use this one. Allow only members in the course to see it. And then you have email format. HTML format is what you want, so just leave that. Then you have email digest system. You don't have to worry about that. Form auto subscribe. Here you can actually make it default to not automatically subscribe me to forums, or you can automatically set it to default here. The other option is when you actually go to the bottom of the discussion board, you can also go from there, and you can override your own decision that you made here. So forum tracking, yes, highlight new posts. So if there's a new post, it'll just send you, it'll just highlight it for you. Or if you don't want to keep track of any of the posts that you've seen, you can just select that. I typically use yes. And then when editing text, use HTML editor, yes. Screen reader, I just put no. And then it will ask for your city and your country that you're in. And then if you want to change the time zone, you can do that. When you click the down arrow, all of these various settings come up. So U2C, which is universal time, and then you can go by Pacific, you can go by European, Australian, Atlantic, Asian. So you have all these different time zones. And then once you choose your preferred time zone, you can just click OK. I typically just leave it at the server's local time. Then for preferred language, you can change the language if you want English set to the default, and that's pretty much the only option that you got there. And then description, if you want students to know a little bit more about you, you can just type that in here, and you can actually, if you had more to say or less, you can adjust the settings of the box by going to the bottom right hand corner, and you should have a double-sided arrow which tells you can pull it out or you can drag it in. And as you can see, as I was dragging it in and out, the words were, the sentences were changing their length and size to match with the box to make sure nothing gets cut off. So you can go ahead and you can type a little bit about yourself here. So that's your general settings. And then below that is your user picture. If you want to change your picture, or if you want to delete it, you can click delete. If you want a new picture, you just click add and make sure it's a JPEG or a PNG or whatever settings it will allow you in. And again, this window will open up similar to all the other windows, and you just make your attachment. If you don't want a picture at all, you can just check the delete button and then go all the way down to the bottom and update profile, and your picture will disappear. And then if you have any interests, you can tag those in here. So if you have any interests that students might be interested in, or if you just want people to know about, you can put that in your interest section. And then below that, this is optional. If you had a web page or a Skype ID or any of that, you can put that down here. It's not required. Most of your professors won't even look at that pretty much. So, and then once you've made your satisfied changes, you just click update profile, and then we'll just wait for the page to load. And then it will bring you right here, and this is what your profile will look like when other students look at it, when they're looking at either your name when responding to a discussion, or if they just happen to be browsing around. So this is the information that I have allowed to be visible, and it tells you when you last accessed it, on what date, year, time, and that's pretty much it for that. If you run into any other Moodle problems, feel free to contact the Lasell help desk, and they would be more than happy to help you get through Moodle, or if your assignments aren't there, or if you, let's say you click on your course, and we go and let's say we click on, we want to make a respond here, but let's say this tab, add a new discussion topic, wasn't here, just this assignment was here, but you couldn't add a discussion. Just contact your professor and let them know that they need to create access for all users to add a new discussion topic. So you can contact your professor to do that. But if you run into any other Moodle problems, feel free to contact the Lasell IT help desk. And their information will be posted at the end of this tutorial. So, if you want to go back to My Lasell, you have two different versions, or two different ways. The first way is you can just click on the home button, and this will automatically bring you right to My Lasell. The other option is you can click directly through Moodle, right next to Lasell. There's my Lasell. You can click on that, and that will also bring you directly there. And if you want to go to the library, that's this one, which is the third tab in. This tab here is actually pretty new, which is online tutoring. So if you wanted any help online for tutoring, you just click on that. This page will open up saying your activity has opened in a new window. Up here it'll tell you that it's a pop-up. So all you do is you click on the temporary allow pop-ups by right clicking on the mouse. And then this page right here, Smart Thinking, will open up. And again, you just click allow temporary pop-ups. And then if you think this page is a little too small, you can easily maximize it. And then you just click there. And then this is what it looks like. So you have a writing center, you have drop-in tutoring, scheduled tutoring, offline questions, academic resources. So this is basically where you can submit your writing, and a tutor will go ahead and take a look at that. So we're already automatically logged in because we were able to get direct access through Moodle to get here. And then underneath here, you have access to all of these different subjects, and then you can easily do a quick search. And then when your session is done, you can just log out, and it'll say, are you sure you want to log out? Click yes. It will bring you right to this page. Go right up here, close out, and then you're right back into Moodle again. So that's a little quick thing about online tutoring. Feel free to contact the Academic Achievement Center about that for some more information. So when your entire Moodle session is done, you can either log out or you can just click My Lasell directly. Either one of those works. So I'm going to just go ahead and log out. And then when you log out, you should be on this page when you log out. And this last tab here, which used to say My Courses, now says All Courses. That's how you know you have completely logged out. And then if you go down here, it tells you a little bit about any assignments that you might have or anything that might be interesting. Most of this is for professors and stuff. And again, you have your calendar that you can quickly take a quick glance at. And then these are the different main menus. You have frequently asked questions. This is for faculty if they for how to use it. And then you have the Academic Achievement Center section. You have your online tutoring, and yeah, pretty much the other ones you don't really need to worry about too much. So let's go ahead and go back to My Lasell. So you just go ahead and click on My Lasell, and again this Windows security will pop up again. So just type in your username and your password, and you just click OK. And we're right back to where we started at the beginning of the tutorial. So hopefully you'll know a little bit more about Moodle. And again, if you have any other questions, feel free to contact Lasell IT, and we'll be more than happy to help you. Thank you.